To the right of me, I got my guest, Funnyman Kenny Ken.
How you doing?
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Funnyman Kenny Ken, why don't you tell our viewers how'd you even come up with that name?
So it's a weird story. Those who don't know, I'm Funnyman Kenny Ken. I was a comic with no real direction, and I would just jump into any club. So I was formerly known as Kenny. Just Kenny, comedian Kenny.
Right.
And I met this promoter named Ray Dijon. Shout out to Ray Dijon, Laughaholics. And he was booking me for a show, and he said, what's your name? And I said, Kenny. He said, that's it? He said, what's your stage name? I was like, Kenny. He said, nah, you're going to have to give me something spicier than that. And I was like, Kenny Cool? So he was like, how about Kenny Ken? And literally, like I tell people this story all the time, Ray Dijon named me Kenny Ken. How I evolved to Funnyman,
right,
is a weird story. While posting everything on YouTube and everything, I was just posting it Kenny Ken, right. Kenny Ken, Kenny Ken, and I would tell people, I'd be like, hey, just check out my my YouTube page, blah blah blah. And one day somebody was like, I didn't know you was a DJ. I was like, a DJ? What do you mean I'm a DJ? So a lot of people don't know, when you're looking at your phone or your tablet or your laptop, this is your portal. But if you go through another person's portal, you'll see what they see,
right?
Because it's usually formatted for us. And when I went through their portal, first thing popped up was 2 turntables, Kenny Ken mixing. I was like, wait a minute. But then when I kept scrolling,
right,
there I am mixed in with it. So I had to add something to the name just to separate myself from the DJ himself.
Right.
And I came up with Funnyman because most times when people meet me, their lasting impressions like, yo, that dude is funny, dude.
Right.
It's funny. Yo, that dude is funny. So I ran with that, and I've had this name about 4 years now.
4 years? All
yeah,
right,
Funnyman, 4 years. Kenny Ken, about 12.
Right.
So
and that leads into my next question, because I was going to ask, as a comedian, how long have you been doing this?
Ironically, last October, I celebrated my 16th year anniversary in comedy.
Years, man.
16 years, and the first couple of years, I didn't take it as serious as I did the last 10 years.
Okay.
Because when I would go to places and I'd be belligerent, I'd be OD, I'd have a whole crew of friends, and so
right,
I started to take it serious, and I started to actually make it a career, where I started dressing better. My name, it's funny how I changed my name, because once I knew that there was a DJ that had the same name,
right,
Kenny Ken.
Right.
So I asked somebody, I was like, yo, just check me out. He was like, yo, I didn't know you was a DJ. I was like, what? So when I went through his portal to see what he was looking at, there was all these little turntables. And I'm like, I clicked on it once or twice, and I'm like, this is a DJ. But I found myself in the mix, so I had to figure out a way to separate myself from that DJ. And I added Funnyman, because most of the time people's lasting impressions of me is, that dude is funny, you know what I mean? So I was like, funny friend, funny man. I was like, Funny Man. Mm-hmm. And it worked. So I've had that name for going on now, like 5-6 years. Kenny Ken about 12. Yeah, about 12 years. And
and that leads into my next question. How long have you been practicing comedy, doing comedy as a profession?
I've been doing comedy 16 years. I'm not going to say strong. It was 2 years that I actually was just in between. I didn't know if I wanted to continue. I was trying to be a dad. I was trying to do different things. So 16 strong years doing it, man.
Years.
I'll give you a quick one. 16 years, and I started doing comedy just off a dare.
Oh, really?
A freaking dare.
Okay.
Like I tell people this all the time. 10 minutes before I became Funnyman Kenny Ken, I actually said, do I look like a comedian to you? I actually told my friend that right before the whole room called, hey, Kenny. And I went up there, and first laugh I got, I was stuck.
Really?
Yeah, it's because it's different. Some people are funny in their home. They're funny in a group. They're funny around their friends.
Right.
I'm overall funny.
Okay.
But I never thought that I can project it to a crowd. You know, I see it done. I've seen Eddie Murphy Raw. I've seen, Delirious. I've seen all these things, and it looks hard. Because if you think about what a comedian does, he has to stand there and grasp your attention. Then he has to make you laugh. Then he has to stay on track. Then he has to be relevant and make sense.
Right.
It's not as easy as you think it is. Yeah. And I've been caught ever since, and I love it. God gave me a superpower. Everybody has a power. Some people can build things. Some people can heal. I can change anybody's mood just like that. You know, it was just from the time I got that, I realized what my gifts were.
Right.
It was amazing. And I don't need to ramble on, but one of the essential moments in my life, like a key moment in comedy for me, was I did this show and I got a little tipsy, whatever the case is. You know, everybody has these epiphanies where they like, oh no, I shouldn't do this no more. And I did this show and this guy, he was like down and I attacked him. In the crowd, that joked on him. I actually don't do that because I feel it's wrong to attack someone in the crowd. They pay their money to come see a show. You shouldn't roast them.
Right.
I strongly believe that any comedian, every comedian should tell jokes.
Right.
Gigging on you is not telling jokes. They're gonna laugh regardless because they're bored.
Right.
Or they're tipsy or whatever it is.
Right. And it ain't on them.
And it ruins your experience. It ruins your evening. Let's say my name is up in lights 10, 20 years from now. You're gonna say, "Fuck that dude, man.
Right.
He ain't shit." Remember how Jada Pinkett was when Reggie got back on there? She was like, "I don't like this dude."
Right.
And what movie? The Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
Because he roasted her.
Right.
The last time. So her initial reaction when she said, "Oh, I don't like this dude."
So that stuck with you.
So it stuck with me. But I did a show one time and the guy was sitting there all not laughing much. And I said, "Yo, what's up, man? Everybody having a great time. What you doing, man? Huh? Are you masturbating in your pocket?" I was just going through it. And he giggled, he laughed, and then I just kept going on. And then I actually turned it up a little bit for him because I was like, I'm going to make this dude laugh.
Right.
And he laughed or whatever. And then at the end of the show, he came and he introduced himself to me. And he said, "Yo, I want to thank you." And I'm like, "What happened, bro?" He was like, "I had a really messed up week. I had a really bad day. Baba just got fired. The whole setup."
Wow.
And he was like, "I just needed to blow off some steam." People's like, "Come to a comedy club, make you laugh, forget your problems." And I had that moment where I realized what I'd done for this guy. I actually took his troubles away from him for a few minutes.
Right.
And, maybe God put me in that great position where I had an opportunity to talk to him. I said, "Listen, brother, think about it like this. Maybe this is a stepping stone for something better because just the comedy show itself just shows you that life isn't as bad as you think it is.
Right.
You can laugh at some of your pain." And I swear to you, must have been maybe two more weeks after or 2 shows after. He came back and he said, "Guess what, man?" He said, "After your show, man, my girl's dad offered me this job at sanitation. Got the job. My landlord, he went to the hospital, so I ain't had to pay my rent." Some crazy. He was just going on like a series of great things happened to him.
Right.
And he said all of that happened after his show. He said, "I thank you for taking the time to talk to me." Man,
that's
my head was like this. I was like,
"That's deep.
Look at me."
That's deep.
I was like, "Look at me, man." So those are some of the moments where I really appreciate what I do for people
Right.
or what I do as entertainer. You
Okay.
know, I try to give it my best every time.
Right. So my next question, is there a difference in terms of like audience? Do you find like you have an easier time with like a Caucasian or a mostly Caucasian audience or a black audience, or is it all the same to you?
No, it's not all the same at all. But I do have a better time with Caribbean people.
Okay.
Because I'm Caribbean.
Okay.
And women. Guys are, what's the word? They're
make me laugh.
Make me laugh, G. They want to be hard.
Yeah,
They want to be hard and all that.
This nigga make me laugh.
They want to be hard and all that. So those are the challenges. Like you go into, like I used to do bars. You go into a bar and I make everybody stop talking.
Okay.
Or go walk into a karaoke spot and I just be like, "Yo, cut the beat, man." And I just start telling jokes. I'll start telling jokes.
Right.
So it varies because I would put myself in these various situations just to test if I was good. I've gone to a church. I've done weddings. I did graduations, high school graduations.
Wow.
I recently did before COVID. I actually was featured at Essence Fest at New York to NOLA comedy show in Essence.
Oh wow! Okay.
That's associated with Essence Fest. So that crowd is totally different than New York crowd.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But it's no real balance. It's about reading the room. You walk into a room, you can tell if there's tension. You can tell if everybody's having a great time. So you read the room. You don't just go in there and grab a microphone and start talking because I learned my lesson. Not every joke is for everyone.
Right.
I used to say this joke, I'm so short, I could eat pussy standing straight up. it hits, you laugh.
Right.
Most people do laugh when I say this joke.
Right.
What happened was I went to after work crowd dinner show, and they were eating steaks and shrimp and all that. And my second joke was like, hey, I think you know how hard it is walking around here looking like a 10th grader? But it's an advantage to it, man. I can eat pussy standing straight up. Everybody in the room looked at me like, put their knives down. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm tall with Timberlands on, you know. So,
and that's funny. You seem to be leading the interview, because that was my next question. Do you recall? Was there any incidents where you might have been performing and like none of your jokes were hidden?
Yeah.
You know, and how did you like handle that, or did you just be like, you know what?
Everybody's had those. I would say I think everyone's had those moments. Particularly for me, what happened was comics are sort of divas in a way.
Right.
Because you're on a flyer, you're about to do a show, so you're a celebrity for about 10 minutes. Hello?
Right.
You're a celebrity for like 10 minutes. You walk it through, don't touch me, don't touch me. You know what I mean? All that. And they tend to party hard. So let's say all of the crew's happy, they're going to keep passing you liquor.
Right.
They're going to keep passing you weed or whatever the case is. And some of the moments were more my fault. Like I remember I did a boat ride. I did a boat ride one time off the FDR, and I had a bottle of Bacardi, and the guy said, you can't come in with that. I was like, what? You know I'm comedian Kenny Ken, man. What you talking about, bro? I'm going in there, man. He said, you not? I was like, okay, so I guess I'm not. All right. How long the boat leave, brother? He was like 10 minutes. I was like, damn, I drank this in 10 minutes. So I'm walking on the FDR like a wino, like I'm a handle mine. So I get on the boat. And the boat now
staggering.
Oh my God, bro! I saw the video. I deleted it immediately. I deleted it. I was so wrong. Why did you do that to yourself? And the funny thing is, the promoter never called me back. You can mess yourself up by doing things like that.
Right,
so I give key rules to myself. I give myself rules. Rule number 1: don't get high or drunk before you're gonna perform. This is your job. Take it very serious.
Right.
Rule number 2, I don't pick nobody up.
Okay.
I don't care if you live in my building, I'm not picking you up.
Right.
Only when I'm picking you gotta be at my door when I'm walking out the door. Because there's the problem with picking people up. You pick them up, you bring them to the event. Now you chilling. I'm a comedian, I got a network, I gotta pass my business cards, I gotta find out if I can get another show. Here's what happens, the guy come up to you, yo, when you leaving? My man, it's 9:30. Yo, I gotta go to work in the morning.
I'm ready to go.
I gotta bring you home. So I do, and then you'll go pick people up. And like when I break my rules, you'll go pick someone up. You're sitting outside waiting, and you're looking at the time like, there's no way I'm gonna make it to the show on time.
Right.
When you could have just went to your show, you took care of your business. Like if you go to work, you don't pick people up to go to work.
Yeah.
You don't have time for that. You have to be someplace at a certain time. So I try to stay structured in that because I think it's key. I think it's essential for you to, if you're gonna be something, be all the way about it. Don't half step it and be on the damn near about to get fired list. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Damn near about to get fired list.
So who are some of the people that inspired you? Some of the comedians?
Like I'll say Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
I'll say early Sinbad. I'll say like some people's like you. What about Richard Pryor? I didn't grow up with Richard Pryor.
Okay.
I'll keep it real. First comedy I ever saw was Raw. I saw Raw when it came out, 87 or 86 or something. I saw Raw on a sneak tip.
Okay.
Someone snuck it in the house, and he was like, you better not say it to your mama. And I'm watching, and I'm just cracking up. He talking about Ralph Cramden, talking about Control. He was so relevant.
Right.
He was so relevant, and he was so funny. Because, you'd already seen all his movies, so you're a fan.
Right.
I was already a fan of Eddie Murphy.
Right.
And then as it progressed, it was, you got to, like, Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx, some of the comedians. Like, one of my biggest influences, and y'all gonna laugh. Y'all might not laugh, but y'all see where I get this from. Ralph Cramden, man. Ralph Cramden, man.
Jackie Gleason. Okay.
Ralph Cramden was so intelligent and so. If you ever look at the Honeymooners, they only sat in that room.
Right. Yeah.
He will have you dying.
And I believe it was done in front of a live studio audience.
Live studio audience. George Jefferson, Archie Bunker, all of those who made me ask. Jack Tripper.
Right.
All of them that made me laugh while I was coming up showed me certain things. Did I want to be a comedian? No.
Right.
But they were the ones that influenced me. Like my dad, he was one of the key influencers. Like he'd walk into a room, he'd say, blah, 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 and everybody's laughing, and I'm like, this man, he the man.
Right, he got power, right.
He the man.
Right.
Yeah, he turned the room around. So people that had that power to make people laugh were always, I love to laugh. Most of us love to laugh. There's people who don't. That's why I say most of us.
Right.
Some people are like, yo, my man, I ain't with all this laughing stuff, and then no giggle, all right? I'm like, my man, I'm saying though, we had a kid's birthday party. We got to be serious. You never know what might go down in here. What? It's a kid's birthday party. It's 6-year-olds in here. Yo, one of them act up. You know? So,
I got you.
So it's anybody that made me laugh was always an influence in my life. You know what I mean?
All right, so let's take it back now. So now, were you one of those kids back in school where you was like the class prankster, the funny guy, or whatever?
I was the troublemaker. The class. I wouldn't say the class clown, but I would say the troublemaker because I'd always be the one that take the opportunity. I found an opportunity and I would take it. I would take it. I don't want to hear no more questions after you pick up your pens. Everyone in the class laughs because they know I'm about to say something funny. And I'll be like, how you use the bathroom? That's not a question about the math. You know, so I was one of those dudes. I always did that. You know, I used to be the guy who would take any opportunity to make them laugh because the laughter was so contagious and so addictive.
Right.
That it got me into more trouble than anything. I should have been in rehab for the laughter. Because I used anything. I grew up in an era. I tell comics, I grew up in an era where we sat in front of the building. We ain't had no technology, so we sat in front of the building. I grew up in an era where you say, yo, what up, shorty? She ain't say nothing to you. What was she? You fucking bitch. Right. All right? I grew up in that era. I grew up in the era where we were sitting on them steps snapping on each other. I grew up in that era of slap boxing. Right. I grew up in that era that you could not sit at that cafeteria, at this end of the cafeteria table, without having some spades, Uno, or some good jokes.
Or some good jokes.
Or some bubblegum. You know, you got bubblegum, you in.
Right.
What you talking about? That bubblicious. You know?
So now, have you got to the point where, you know, you telling your jokes or whatever, you have people, yo, I'm going to see you after the show, son. Yo, funny man, right? I'm going to see you, man. You thought what you did was funny? I got something that's funny for you. So like at the end of
I've never gotten to that point.
Never gotten to that point.
I, you know, as comics, we're not the toughest guys in the world.
Right.
You know, so I'm not going to sit here and play tough because, again, like I, you know, stated in the beginning, I would not come to a show. I wouldn't, any comic, I would not recommend going to a show and roasting people in the crowd.
Okay.
Those who I see do that, I don't think they're comedians. I think you're fishing. You're looking for some sort of laughs. Right. And like you said, that can get you in some problems. This dude, oh, you think you funny man? And then he's standing like, this dude is 5'5". I'm throwing him across the street. I'm gonna punt this little dude. I'm gonna punt his little ass. He want to be making jokes. All right. Yeah. So I don't recommend it because, but there are those instances where people will mess with you while you're on stage. Right. Talk while you're performing. And this is funny. This might have been one of your questions, but, you know, I actually handle hecklers. Yeah. I used to go to comedy clubs all in the city, and I used to watch hecklers. And I used to think to myself, I wish he would. You know, you ever watch a video or something and you see something happen, like somebody get approached by a camera and the way the guy handles it, you're like, what? That would have been me. Right. What? That would have been different. So when I see it happen, I always say, oh, I wish I nigga would have said something. Oh, I got something for you. You got the nerve to wear dirty sneakers in this kid. Oh, I got something for you. So I actually sat home and thought about every worst case scenario on stage, and I wrote a heckler book.
Did you really?
I wrote a heckler book. It took me about 2 years to write it. I didn't even finish because there's always different things a person can crack jokes on. Now I have a beard. You might say something about my beard. I got the big sloping forehead. You might say something about my forehead. Right. So I thought about all these little things that you could possibly say in my rebuttal, and my response, and how quickly I'm gonna get you. And then overall, looking at that person, that should be more than enough material as is. Because even if the guy is the best looking guy in the world, you're gonna find fault in something. Right. My man, is your left tooth crooked? Oh, you got the nerve. You be flossing with jump ropes? What you doing? What you doing?
Right, I got you. All right, so a couple of questions that just came to my mind. So I remember when I was coming up, one of my peers used to tell me, one of the way to, do well with the ladies is keep them laughing. And then you said that, you do well with the ladies as far as comedy. How does that help you in your personal life?
The women that I have dealt with, and some of you ladies know this happens. It's a good thing to have a funny man in your life, but you're not going to be able to get your point across very well. Sometimes I have to turn the jokes down just to hear her point. Because I know I'm in trouble. I know I'm in trouble. And I just be like, you gonna beat me? You gonna beat me in front of all these people? Shut up. So I make her laugh.
Right.
Now she's not as mad as she used to be.
Right.
Like my mother always said, you can always tell when Kenny's upset. He doesn't talk.
Okay.
So there is two sides to everything, because I look at Funny Man as an alter ego, because I'm actually a very serious person. I'm very serious in my life. I just recently bought a home.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
What was that like, man?
Me and the wife put it together. So it was a lot harder than I thought. All these fees. I'm looking at the door like, you want more money?
Right.
We paid you already. Yeah, but I got to do these paperwork.
Yeah, this is the fee for the fee.
You just press print on the copier. That's not work, my friend. You want me to pay you for that? How much? $500.
Yeah, isn't that funny? It's like that.
Oh, you're not laughing? No, I'm not laughing. Give me the damn pen, my man. So it's the two sides of a coin, because most of the time people don't know I'm funny,
right?
Because of the work I do and the space that I'm usually in. It's when they find that I'm funny. Because I used to use it as a hook, line, and sinker for women. I'd be like,
right.
I'm a comedian, right? You ain't no comedian. Let me see your phone. Here it goes. Oh my God, that's you. You're so. So I used to use that to try to get girls or talk to girls or whatever. And I like to keep it sort of like Clark Kent, Superman style.
Right.
When I'm at work, most times I won't be as funny as I usually am. But then when I do talk, it's natural. Right. It's fluid. I start talking and something funny is actually going to come out of my mouth. Yeah. Or my tone or just the way I act is going to be funny. I'm like, what? What are you touching me for? You didn't wash your hands. It's COVID, bruh. It's COVID. So now I'm being serious, but because of the way I said it, everybody's dying laughing. And he over there washing his hands like, yo, you so stupid, bro. But you're washing them, right? Yo, use soap this time, brother. Water rubbed together doesn't work. There's soap.
Right. I got you. All right. So as a comedian, you've been doing this, you said, for what, like 16 years? 16
years.
So during the 16-year period that you've been performing, was there any point where you was just like, you know what, man, this ain't even for me, man. I'm going to throw in the towel?
Actually, no, but I thought about it. Because I grew up in a household where there was no quitting.
Okay.
My father was not playing that game. You fail the test, you're going to take it tomorrow.
Right.
That type of mentality. You broke something, I need you to get crazy glue, I need you to put it back together.
Right.
We're going to go buy another one. There's no quitting in my family. I even enforce that with my kids. There's no quitting, because the time that you quit, that energy it took for you to quit, you could have actually done it already. Right. Like a person would be like, this is too hard. All that complaining you did, you could have probably figured it out and all that noise you just did. Yeah. So I grew up like that, where it was no quitting. But there were the moments where you would go so far to do a show, don't get paid. I remember this one show I did. I went, got all fancy and everything. Actually took a shower that day. It was real. Right? And went all the way to the show. Got there, hardly no one is shown. The promoter disappeared. The show was great. Promoter disappeared. No one offered me nothing to drink. Nobody offered me nothing to eat because I had no money.
Right.
And I'm looking around, hoping the promoter come back. I'm like, damn, at least give me $10 to jump in the cab. Right. He never showed. And I ended up walking home. And I walked a distance of like, where we at, 102? I walked from like here to like the Lower East Side.
Oh, wow.
I was pissed.
Wow. And then it rained, right?
No. Oh, that would have been worse. But I walked that distance, and the whole time walking it, I was dating a girl at the time. She was talking to me on the telephone. I was like, just talk to me in case they kidnap me. Okay, I don't want to be no sex slave nowhere, okay? Just talk to me. She said, at least you still got your sense of humor. I said, I'm serious. It's funny, but I'm serious. If they take me, I'm going to give you the plate number. That's the most you got to do. Get me back. All right, get me back. So there was those moments, but I always tell comics, or I tell anybody who thinks about giving up, you give up, okay, now what you're going to do?
Right.
Like, if I gave up comedy, what would I do?
Right.
It's not like we have multiple things we can do. I have a job, I have children, and I have comedy.
Okay.
So if I quit comedy, I'm going to hang on my kids. I love my kids, but you don't really like them too much, right? You don't like the stuff they do.
Right.
So
right.
I don't want to really be around you for that long,
right.
okay?
Right.
And my job, so you quit and do what?
Right.
What's the alternative? If you had something better to do, that made sense. But I don't have anything better to do than comedy. I have this mentality where I can get to a show and there could be only one person there. We're still going to have a show.
Right.
I remember we did this show one time in Queens. Me and one of my friends, Colors, definitely shout out to Colors and Blaze the Mic. We did a show one time and no one appeared, no one showed.
Oh, wow.
One person. And when I say not one, and I was like, maybe we made the price too high. We think $20 a lot. This is a rural neighborhood. You know, you don't see that car on fire. So we did it, and I said, you know what? Go get all the wait staff. Bring them all out.
Right.
I said, ain't nobody buying no food. Come out, come on. They was, all right, yeah. They taking off their shoes and stuff. I've been on my bunions all day. You might as well sit down. And we just start telling jokes to them, and my friends and my colleagues that were with me, they were so impressed. They was like, dude, I would have went home. I said,
right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I live far away. So for me to go home, I'm gonna be driving home mad in the middle lane, slow as hell, like. So nobody want to come to my show, huh?
You're like, I came here to tell jokes. I'm gonna tell jokes.
I always believe in that.
Right.
The show must go on. I don't care. Make it happen, because you never know. Even that one person that's in the crowd, you're like, oh, I didn't get this capacity crowd. I didn't get this full packed out room. And one person can change your life, man.
Right, right. So yeah, I guess your work ethic would definitely explain why you've been in there so long. Who were some of the people that you were coming up with, along the comedy ranks with?
Actually, this is gonna sound sad. Nobody. I remember 50 Cent said that one day when he got an award. He said, I want to thank myself. I can't wait to say that on stage. I can't wait to say that. Okay, I knew a couple of people but when you say coming up, it's usually like a group that you came up with. I didn't come up with anybody.
Right.
I met one of my comedian friends, True Lies. I met him actually at a comedy school. And the reason I went to the comedy school at the format comedy, because just grabbing a microphone and telling jokes is cool.
Right.
You cannot repeat that again.
Right.
It will flop at some point because it has to make sense. Because I would talk about all types of things. I talk about this person, then I go into something that happened in my life.
Right.
It didn't make any sense. I got you on one wave. I'm like, yeah, so, I was getting this interview, and then this girl just came over. She started kissing me and everything like that. And then, this ant went into my hair. And you're like, what happened to the girl?
Yeah.
But the ant was in my hair, though. And I was like, woo. And you're like, so you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It has to stay consistent. It has to have a segue to it. So somebody suggested, they said, why don't you go to this comedy school and try to get yourself, little fine-tuned, a little training.
Right.
And I met one of my friends, True Lies, there, and he's been doing comedy ever since. I've been doing comedy ever since. But the truth is, there was no one coming up. Because in comedy, and most comics will agree to this, you may do so much shows, there's no one keeping up with you.
Right.
Bull crap. People got to go to work tomorrow.
Right.
You might be doing a show at 11:30 at night on a Tuesday. Ain't nobody hanging out with you.
Right.
Ain't nobody kind of go all the way to Mount Vernon to go do a show with you. So most of this was by myself. Now, I had amazing support. Everyone who found out I was doing comedy, like, man, you should have been doing that, man. That's your life, man. It's your calling, brother. Right. When you get big, don't forget me. I'm like,
I've always believed in you.
I always believed in you.
Right.
Why you never came to on the show? What happened was that same tire always got a slow leak. I don't understand.
My sciatica.
My sciatica be messing with me, man. I gotta stop wearing this wallet, man. This ain't gonna make it, man. So a lot of times I attribute most of the success to me. I don't dead, anybody else who has contributed, but
right.
I make these things happen. I'm the one that's chucking and walk that damn 10 miles to go home.
Right.
I'm the one who sits there and write it. How they say, you wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym? You wasn't there.
Right.
So when I'm writing late nights and all of that, I attribute all that to me because I invested in myself. I took the initiative. I took it serious.
Right.
As opposed to, like some people do one show, now they're stars.
Right.
You did one show, man, and you a star?
Right.
They'd be like, man, listen, man.
Or even like now with the internet or whatever, like, you know, people could be funny online.
But here's the funny thing about that. I'm glad you actually brought that up. A couple comedians know what I'm talking about. The people that are funny online are funny online.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when you put them on stage, it's a wholly different world.
Right.
Because remember, you're online, you're doing quick snippets of 13 seconds.
Right. And you're not getting any audience feedback.
Yeah, you're not getting feedback. But when you actually talk and you don't know what you're about to say or you don't know how to read a room, I've seen them bomb.
Right.
I've seen viral sensations bomb. I'm like, maybe you should have turned the camera on. Maybe you should have turned the camera on. It might have been funnier. I don't know, but there's a separation to. I love those who do those viral skits and everything because they keep me entertained.
Right.
But they're not comedians.
Right. Right.
You know, some of them call themselves comedians, but I'll sit there like, you're a starter.
Right.
It's best that. You're a starter. Or when I'm putting you on stage, I'm like, all right, this brother here, you gonna do a couple minutes. Just give me 3. You know, a couple minutes. You know, you have to perform much. Or he's just popping his cherry. That's usually what they are. And there's, like I said, there's nothing wrong with those who do the skits and everything. I love it. But when you put them in that scenario where, like, if you put me in a skit, okay, I'm gonna be funny because of my demeanor and my sense of humor. But when you grab a internet sensation and you put him on stage, give him the mic, you call him up to the stage, he doesn't know how to break the crowd.
Right.
He doesn't know how to end it on a funny note. He doesn't even know what he's gonna say next.
Right.
So most of it is freestyle off the top of the head. Man, you guys be out here playing themselves, man. I killed one, I swear to God. Shit. But I was on probation for that last time. That's as far as it'll go because they don't really know what to say. And it's not their fault because I always tell people, write. Don't think writing doesn't help you, write.
Right.
Because when you write, that's how I got through college anyway. I wrote everything. When I went to study, I would write it. I'd be like this.
Right.
Because once I wrote it down, I remembered it. While I'm writing it down, I'm saying it out loud like my jokes. I'm like, yeah, the fat girl put her hand in the Pringles and was stuck.
Yeah, you know,
the fire department had to take a hand out, you know.
Yeah, it's so funny that you say that because I find that that's like an unspoken art, you know, and I think, you know, I attribute it to like a lot of, you know, rappers who like, yo, I don't write nothing down. Everything comes off the top of the head or whatever. And then arguably you heard some of the most weakest raps because no one was writing stuff down.
No, writing it down. Because the advantage of writing something down, you get to actually reanalyze what you've got written.
Right.
You know, you get to go, what the hell did I write? So I can't spell the word was. Oh, my bad. You notice things when you look back at it. Yeah. You're like, what?
Yeah, I'm not.
Damn, my handwriting sucks.
I ain't gonna say that.
I ain't gonna say this. Let's get this out of here. So I think it's key and essential for you to write and record yourself.
Right.
Because you're gonna see what you used to do. And when I first started doing comedy, I did this. I tell jokes like this. Then everybody was like, yo, bro, why you not looking at the crowd? Huh? I did look at the crowd. You looking at their feet. Yeah, all right. So stuff like that.
Comedian with low self-esteem, you know.
you learn, and then while you're looking at yourself, you learn certain things. Oh, I'm not engaging. I don't know why was I holding the microphone like I was a rapper.
Right.
Like, where's my mother? You're playing with me. Yo, man. And everybody's like, yo, you, I don't know what you said. I said, you ain't hear nothing I said? No, we heard you. Like parts. A bit of it, but we put it together. I was like, my man was like, why don't you try picking the mic and putting the mic like this? You learn as you go, oh, maybe I should. And it gets better. I learn how to, like my voice is deep. So I actually take the bass out of my voice when I'm on a microphone. I'll be like this. All right, guys, you understand what I'm saying? It's going to go down. I have to take it out because it's going to project across the room. If I go, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. It's like, what the hell?
What did he say? What did he say about my mama? Fuck you, man.
All right, so now that it's 2021 and things are starting to open back up, what was 2020 like for you and the whole COVID pandemic? Because I know like a lot of live shows were shut down like comedians, bartenders, musicians, like everybody just like shit got real. How did you handle it?
It's funny because I remember right before I had gone to Atlanta and did a show with the Defiled Bed cast. Shout out to the Defiled Bed 1 and 2. We did a show in Atlanta January 20th of 2020.
Wow.
Right before COVID was about to turn up, we in Atlanta like, we lit out there. And I did a show when I came back, and that's when the COVID conversation started up, this and the third. COVID didn't affect me as much as it did other entertainers because two things happened in my favor. One, I never stopped working.
Oh, wow.
Literally, all I did, came to work one day and they put us down and they told us what COVID is and what we need to expect, and everyone must wear a mask. We had that little seminar thing. That was it. And I went back to work the next day. So nothing stopped. Physically, not one thing. Oh, I started to drive to work that time because I used to love the train, but.
Right.
And one of my friends hit me, he said, yo, you know they banned comedy? I said, how can they ban comedy? And I had the article. It was banned.
Right.
And I was like, wait a minute. Comedy's banned? Dancing is banned. That's when everything started to hit the press. And I was like, wait a minute. So what are we going to do?
Right.
I said, so we can't do no more shows. The next day, I got a phone call to do a show.
Really?
The next day, I think if I could look it up, I might be able to find the text. It was like, I think it was like March 3rd or something like that. He was like, yo, you don't mind doing this show? It's outside. And I was like, outside is perfect. Let's do that. I actually did a lot better than most people. I did 19 shows in the pandemic.
Get out of here, really?
19 successful shows in the pandemic. 16 of them were outside. 3 were indoors. I was scheduled to do 22. I actually had 2 were canceled because of the weather.
Right.
Like my anniversary, I chose Halloween to do it because I don't know what day I actually started doing comedy, but I know it was in October. So I picked Halloween.
Halloween, okay.
So I was going to do a comedy show / anniversary show / Halloween show, whatever. It was canceled because of the weather. And then I had another show that I was going to do that was canceled. So technically I would have done 22 shows, 21 shows.
Oh, wow. Man.
I did 19 shows, successful shows, and I said, I was telling somebody, I was like, yo, I must have did something good in my life. Yeah. And people still calling me. Look, I'm lying. What's your Cash App? Oh, I'm going to send it to you right now.
Mess around. It was that guy that lost his job that you basically sat there and...
It could have been. It could have been that coming back full circle. It's possible because I've had numerous moments like that where I've had people come and hug me and tell me that I helped their day and so on and so forth. So, like I knew I had something going because I get old people come and hug me. But you got to pat yourself after that.
Right.
Where you going, Miss Shirley? No, I just was asking where you going. I got my wallet, Miss Shirley. What you say,
I miss you.
What you say, baby? You say what? I said, no, nothing, Shirley. So I did really well in the pandemic. Ironically, I did really. I would talk to comics and they'd be like, oh, I hadn't performed in a year. I'm like, what?
Right.
What? I wouldn't even know what to do. Case in point. The worst thing that did happen to me in the pandemic is, unfortunately, I lost one of my favorite people in the world, my dad.
Oh, wow.
He died. Yeah, he died April 6, 2020 of COVID-related issues. That's why he died. And he was an able-bodied person, so we know that's what took him out. And I stayed home for a week. I stayed home a week to try to grieve, get things together, and I could not for the life of me figure out how is the world doing this.
And that's after a week, right?
Oh, that was after like 3 hours. You know, it's time you open your refrigerator door. Somebody moved that soda. How many times you open your refrigerator? Oh my God. And we don't have mansions. Let's go.
Right.
Okay, from my kitchen to the bathroom, I take my time, baby. I'm looking at the sights. I'm like, this picture's cricket, man. You know what I'm saying? You're walking through the house.
Right.
And I could not for the life of me, those of you that made it through the pandemic, God bless y'all. And that you lost, my condolences and everything. But oh my God, I sat home for a week. Only a week.
Wow.
And I was losing my mind. And I'm like, the whole world is doing this.
Right.
And I'm only here for a week and I can't take it.
Right.
I could not take just sitting there. And even if I said, okay, I want to go outside, outside is closed.
Right, yeah.
There was nothing to do outside, so I couldn't go nowhere. This time I'm out of here, man. I get to the lobby, I'm like, where am I gonna go? You have nowhere to go at all.
Right. So, where would you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years?
Acting.
So, from comedy just over into the acting?
Yeah. That's usually the transition that comedians make. Perfect transition. They're comics. They build a following. People start to like them, and then somebody casts them in a movie. I see myself doing that because I'm actually going to go full-fledged forward with that.
Right.
The year 2020, that was my game plan. Most comics, we come up with a game plan of how to survive tomorrow, how to survive this week or whatever. So I came up with a plan. I'm like, okay, I'm funny as hell. What else? That's literally what most comics probably say to themselves. I'm killing it.
Right.
You're a star for that night. When you walk out of that club, you're a regular person.
Yeah, that's it, right.
That's it. There's no limo waiting for you. Paparazzi don't take pictures of you. You gotta go back home. Your kid don't respect you. Whatever the situation, your wife kicked you out, whatever it is. You ain't got no money in your Metro card. That's your life.
Right, right.
Right? So I said to myself, I could be this funny, but what else? So I said, I'm gonna try acting. So I started looking up acting schools, this and the third. This is before COVID. I'm really about to go to acting. One school was like $600. And I was like, I might take it. And then I'm looking to see what's the perks in it.
Right.
Because I don't want to just give you $600. I want to do a show. I want something to come out of it at the end. And they were like, oh, they do shows and they send you a casting and all this stuff. So I signed up. And ready to do it. Had my schedule and everything, about to go. COVID hit. Because I figured, here's my mentality. I figured that if I start acting, all it is a matter of time before someone notices how good of an actor I am. It's the same thing as comedy. Sometimes I go to comedy clubs and people don't actually know who I am.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, Danny sent you? Yeah, I'm Kenny Ken. They sent me over. They said, I can do a guest spot. Yeah. You want to go on first? Okay. And this is, okay, it's bragging. I'm something not to play with. Yeah. Right. I'm very serious. I'm very funny. So a lot of times when you put me on first, you kind of disrupt everybody else's mood.
Right.
I set the tone, but some people's not at that tone level.
Right.
Like they have 600 watts and I just pushed out 1,000. Right. So you had the Honda Civic radio. You got that system, So I go up there and I will purposely do this. I will purposely turn up a show all the way up.
Right.
All the way up. That way, two things. One, the promoter's very impressed. The people in the room are very impressed. And the comics are impressed. About 80% of the time I get a show out of something like that. Right. But the funny part is, you like stuff like this where we'll do the show and you'll see the guy bomb after you. You like this. Oh, happy. Happy, you know tell us jockey. You know jockey, you don't tell us jockey. They bomb right after you because they weren't ready for that much energy. Right. And I try to keep it like a little monotoned, a little down, but if you put me on first, I'm going to show off. Yeah. I'm going to show off because people are like, oh, I'm not going on first, I'm going on last. I wouldn't care if you put me on as an intro. Right. Yeah. I'll go on because the best places is first, second, and third. Right. Everyone's still in the room. By the time you get to fourth, fifth, that's when you get the guy. Yeah. Whoop, gotta work in the morning. Right. He's leaving. Yeah. And you got 3 more comedians. And now there's that opportunity to impress that man or make him a fan of yours just passed because you want to be so bougie and be in the background and wait to the end or show up to the show at 10:30. Don't say no names, guys. Like the show started at 8. You're showing up at 10:30. Oh, I'm the headliner. Right. Yeah. All right, do your thing. But I want to try to get back into the acting. I'm so happy New York is opening back up. Right. July. I'm probably gonna go to the same acting school, but they hadn't opened their doors yet. I've been researching. Yeah. I've been researching the Citizen Brigade, all these different outlets. Improv classes, anything to actually put me back on stage because I truly believe in myself. Right. I truly believe in my brand. I believe in me. I believe that if you put me in front of the right people, my life's going to change. Right. So where do you see me in 3 years? In 3 years, you're going to be like this in your house. Yo, I just interviewed that dude, I'm telling you. You know what's the funny part about that? What's that? No one's going to believe you. Yeah, right. No one's going to believe you know me, but in your heart, you're going to know the truth. Yeah. I sat right next to him. Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, you made me think. I remember reading something on Jim Carrey, and he was saying that when he was transitioning from
comedy to acting, one of the things that he did, and this actually brings it right back down to your point that you made earlier about writing stuff down. He wrote himself out a $10 million check.
Yeah.
And his whole thing was, you know, he wanted to see that daily to remind him at some point that that's how much he's going to get paid for his acting.
Yeah.
And surely enough, that wind up coming to pass. So it's very, very important to make sure you write things down.
It's good to write things down and keep focused on what you want to do, because our lives are distracted so quickly. You know, I had a comic one time tell me, oh, my wife is beefing, so I ain't gonna come to the show. On the text, he sent this to me. Next morning, I said, brother, you got time on your hands? Let's talk.
Right.
You're not gonna sit here and tell me a woman, or a man, or alien, or a pet is gonna stop you from what you're supposed, use the word, supposed to be doing. You're supposed to do this.
Right.
This isn't something you thought, I might do it.
Yeah.
Like I tell comics, if you're on a flyer, that's your commitment, that's your confirmation.
Right.
If your face is on a flyer, you should find every way in your power to make it to that show.
Right.
I don't care if the tire blew off. You know what you do? Put your thumb out.
Right.
Hitchhike. You call an Uber, get the app up,
Right.
something, because you have to make it to that show.
Or leave early just in case.
Because
You never know.
you have a commitment to that job. Someone's hiring you to perform a service. For you not to do it, you become unreliable. People don't want to work with you. And I could use that as an example. I had a show out in the Bronx once. I'm not gonna mention the promoter's name. He's still cool with me, but he hasn't never called me since. My muffler fell off my car. Never forget, I was on a Bruckner and I hit up one of those manhole covers, and the bumper flew off. I heard it when it was loud noise. I'm like, what is that? And then I can hear my engine. Ah! So I'm like, what the? So I pull over. Car wasn't that loud 10 minutes ago.
Right.
My muffler sitting in the middle of the Bruckner. I'm like, oh, shit. So I go pick it up. Hot as hell. I pick it up. I'm like, how the hell it fell off the car?
Right.
So I called the promoter. And I had left early, so I had enough time. I called the promoter and told him my problem. He was like, oh, here we go. That was his automatic response. Like, he didn't believe me. And I was like, my muffler fell off my car, bro. I could coast to you, but my car sounds like a damn death trap. Like, it's 13,000 decibels louder than it actually supposed to be. It sounds like one of these motorcycles, these choppers. So I didn't know what to do. And I had a good ways to go. I ended up not doing a show. That promoter has not ever reached back out to me because of that.
Yeah,
So
the old muffler excuse. Yeah,
so
we hear that all the time.
Yeah, so stuff like that, it keeps me on point where if I know that I'm gonna do something, I make it my priority.
Right.
I clear my schedule. I hate when a comic comes and he says, oh, I got something else to do. You shouldn't have came here.
Right, yeah.
You shouldn't have came because I'm not putting you up first just to, no, you're not gonna mess up my order to accommodate you.
Yeah.
Who you? You ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? But I want to keep myself relevant as possible. And I believe just keep being yourself and keep doing the same thing. You'll get your just desserts. And even if you don't, I'm happy as hell.
Right.
I'm not telling you I could die right now. I could. And I'm very proud of myself. Most people should be proud of themselves for their accomplishments. I'm 44 years old.
Then you look good, I would have never guessed that.
Thank you. I'm 44 years old. At 44 years old, I've done things I would have never thought I would have done.
Right.
I didn't even know what Essence Fest was until someone said the word Essence Fest. I thought it was a magazine. It was like, you ain't never been to Essence magazine? No,
Yeah, I got a couple of those.
Essence Fest. They said, how you, I'm like, if you broke your black card, I'm like, shh, that's Essence Fest. Tell me, don't do me like that. Tell me what it is, bro. And I found out this big event that happens every year that I did not know about.
Wow.
You know, so, and for me to perform at Essence Fest, for me to perform at Lincoln Center.
Oh, wow.
They don't even do comedy at Lincoln Center. And I did a comedy show at Lincoln Center. And the cool story about that, I had just broken up with a girl. Fellas, gentlemen, women's, everybody that's listening. If no one's supporting you, they're lost. They're lost. Believe in yourself and do you, because at the end of the day, it doesn't make no sense for you to stop what you're doing because of someone else's feelings or the way they feel about it or their negative energy.
Right.
I was dating a girl and she said something that struck me. She was like, aren't you too old to be doing comedy? And I was like, What do you mean? Oh, how old am I supposed? What's the cutoff?
Right. Yeah.
You know, so when she said it, I had to straighten her out. I was like, first off, Steve Harvey was 47. Tyler Perry was like in his 48. I think I was like 38 when she said that to me. And I was bothered by it.
Right.
And I even called my cousin. I think I should break up with her, right? I should break up with her. I'm gonna have sex with her one more time and I'm gonna break up with her. Stupid chick. But she said that to me, man. And I knew it was serious when I was chilling with her brother, and her brother said, ain't you too old to be doing comedy? And I said, what y'all two talking about this? He was like, no, just saying, you gonna drive all the way to New York to do comedy and come back? Yeah. I don't have nothing else to do.
Right.
I was unemployed. I was getting an unemployment check. I had a car.
Right.
So I drive to New York and go do it because I was living in Delaware at the time. I would drive to New York and come back. And that weekend I broke up with her. Yeah, I broke up with her. Because at the end of the day, you're going to prevent me from doing something. I remember saying to her, I said, with or without you, this is going to happen.
Right.
And it has come to pass because you have to believe in yourself. If I would have listened to her, I would have sat in my house. Nothing would have happened.
Right.
I wouldn't have changed. I wouldn't have been funny, man. I wouldn't have evolved. I wouldn't even be sitting here at this interview.
And then at the same time, she wouldn't have even respected you because it's like, well, what do you do?
What do you do? You don't do nothing with yourself.
Right. Yeah.
And that would have been on point because if I'm just sitting in your face, eventually you're gonna get tired of me.
Right.
You know, women, men, we get tired of each other quick. That's why they have jobs. Get the hell out of the house. That's why we go shopping by ourselves.
Right.
Men are the best shoppers in the world. We walk into the store, grab our shit, and get out. That's it. We're not grabbing stuff and look, I like this. Look at the pastel on it. And then they put it there. I'm like, you know somebody got to pick that up, right? Come on, man. You got all this stuff and you only bought that one pencil. Lady, something's wrong with you.
All right. So, Nat, I had a real good time with you, man. Why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
You can find me on any social site as Funnyman Kenny Ken. I don't divert from anything different. I would love for you guys, if you're in the tri-state area, check out my dub show series. It's created strictly by me. I try to be as positive as possible. And I'm a black man trying to make it. And I'm actually delivering genuine funny. So Funnyman Kenny Ken on any social site. And
all right. I'm going to correct you on that. He's a black man that is making it. There's no try. That is making it.
Okay.
Man.
You seen all the shows, go to my page, you see thousands of events that are put together. Positive. Let's support each other. Let's bring each other back up to that point where we wanted to be, where we were. And we could do, King. The dub shows, like I said, we're doing this series called The Dub Show. And let me tell you a quick rundown on it. Yeah, I know what the 420 is. Everyone knows the 420. We do an annual 420 comedy show. And we came up with this idea, why don't we continue doing it every month? So we call it The Dub Show. So every 20th of the month, so we did 420, we did 520, we just did 620. No, we're about to do 620, then we're gonna do 720. It's gonna continue. So these shows are primarily held in Brooklyn. We're thinking about coming to Harlem. I'm looking at a spot in Harlem, preferably a rooftop because it's getting warmer.
Right.
I wanna start doing shows outside again like I did last year. Last year, the majority of my shows were outside.
Oh, brother? Okay.
I keep an outside space. All you need is a microphone and a speaker.
Right.
Most people don't even know. If you ever go to real comedy clubs, they know DJs. Right. Go to a real comedy club. There is not a DJ in there. You guys are bougie. Okay, coming out to, how about the yeah. No, they just call you. There's this white guy up there. Be like, all right, this guy here coming. He's been making me laugh forever. Right? I want you guys to give him a warm reception. You clap over there, man. Oh, you're getting excited. And then he comes up there, and that's it. That's it. So, the urban comedy side, we got DJs and reggae music playing in the background. Right. But definitely follow me on any social site, Funnyman Kenny Ken. I'm out here. Funny man, dude. Funny man. Trying to make positive moves,
That's cool. Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate your energy. He dropped a lot of gems. Don't forget, guys, that's going to do it for this week of Only Time Can Tell. Thank my guest, Funnyman Kenny Ken, for coming through. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Let's grow this platform. And peace.
I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you will always get an alert when a new video drops.